Now we have DeepSeek R1 Lite Preview. This is a reasoning model competing with O1 Preview. And from these benchmarks, we can clearly see that this outperforms O1 Preview. That is super cool. In AI/ME benchmark, in math benchmark, but not on live code bench. From this graph, we can see that the more time it takes to solve a problem, the more accurate it's going to be. You can see the transparent thought process in real time. In O1 Preview, it's not very transparent, so we are going to test that today. They also promised open source models and API coming soon. And we can try this reasoning model in this chat URL. So I'm going to open it. So in this, we got DeepThink inside the chat. So we are going to test this on various question and answering. But before that, I regularly create videos in regards to artificial intelligence on my YouTube channel. So do subscribe and click the bell icon to stay tuned. Make sure you click the like button so this video can be helpful for many others like you. First, Python hard challenge. Find domain name from DNS Pointer. Asking the large language model to find the domain name from DNS Pointer by creating a function. So adding the instruction here in Python, ticking the DeepThink and then clicking enter. Now you can see the thought process. I need to write a function. I know that PTR records are used for reverse DNS lookups and it's listing list of steps to follow to complete the answer. And finally, you got the answer here. So just copying it and testing it here. That is a pass. Next, Python very hard challenge. Identity matrix. Copying the instruction. Asking the large language model to create a function for identity matrix. So using my DeepThink and then asking it. Now it's thinking. It's good to see its thinking process in detail, transparently. So here it's thinking, what if the n is equals to 3? This is going to be the answer. If it's n is equals to 2, then this is going to be the answer. So it's going through the steps, still going. It's collecting all the information for each n values. And finally, it gave me the answer here. That is super cool. Just copying the code and testing it here. That is a pass. Finally, Python expert level challenge. Farrey sequence. Copying the instruction. This time I'm sure that it's going to fail because this is older version of Python. I'm sure this is going to generate code for new version of Python. So ideally I want it to identify the version which we are currently using and answer based on that. Now it took approximately a minute and it's still running. And finally here is the answer after a minute. Just copying it and testing it here. That is a fail as expected. Could be because of the Python version issue. So let's see if this is going to identify the issue is with the Python version. Yeah, you can clearly see here the code which it gave is valid for Python 3.6 and above. So now it's going to generate code for Python 3.5, I believe. Yeah, here is the code. Let me test it, copying it, testing it here. An issue with the module import. Going to try a final try because I didn't give an instruction not to use any module. So let's see. Okay, it gave me code for Python 3.4. That's why it didn't work. So the testing system which we are using is using Python 3.5. So now based on that, it's going to generate me the code. And here is the answer for that. Doing my final test. Again, that is a fail. So overall, I'll give this a fail. I want to try another Python expert level challenge. Least common multiple. Asking large language model to create a function for least common multiple. Copying the instruction, pasting it here, and just saying in Python 3.5 version, just for clarity. It also gives me the steps or the approach it took to find the answer with the formulas. And here's the answer, just copying the code, testing it here. Not sure if the math module is again useful here. Yeah, that's an error. So going to mention that here. So here is the answer, just copying it, testing it here. That is a fail again. So I can see it's kind of confused in regards to the version. That is the Python version which I'm using. So most probably this will be correct if you're using the latest Python version. But sometime it might fail if you are using old Python version. Next we are going to test its logical and reasoning. Going to give 7 questions together, logical and reasoning, and see if it's going to answer all the questions. Clicking enter, and here is the final answer. And I can see all of these answers are correct. So this is good at logical and reasoning test compared to other models. Overall, I'm impressed with this model considering this has a reasoning ability, which means it can reason through all the answers it generates. And you can use it for free directly from the chat URL, and you can try 50 questions per day. That is super cool. Considering you already like DeepSeek large language model, I've also covered another video which is about Mistral model, and that is also performing really good, which I will link that here, and I highly recommend for you to watch. And I will see you there.